This past week felt like a month. Seriously, can you believe just Monday was the national championship game between the Miami Hurricanes and the Indiana Hoosiers? I am Dan Day along with my cousin Vladimir Luson. Vlad, what happened in this past week?
I don't know. Long ass week, B.
We started, it felt like a month ago you and I were in South Beach running around Lost Weekend, the Deuce. We were at the College Football National Championship.
Felt like a month ago. I just turned 48.
Yeah. It was literally Tuesday. You turned 48. I'm guessing the national championship just threw us off. Monday, went through the gamut of emotions. Really thought them Hurricanes were going to win that game. I really thought when Kurt Signet kicked that field goal, I was like, he just signed his death certificate because Carson Beck and the Miami Hurricanes with 1:40, no timeouts. I don't care. They're going to drive down the field. They're going to score a touchdown with about 10 seconds left, and they are going to run away with the national championship trophy. Wasn't in the cards. Carson Beck, thank you so much. We stood up for you all year long, and you've made 3 bad passes this year that you'd like to take back, and it's resulted in 3 losses. On to the next one, I guess. And then, of course, we've had the Dolphins information that's been coming out basically every single day. Jeff Hafley is our new coach. John Eric Sullivan is our new general manager. 2 guys from the Green Bay Packers organization. Green Bay Packers organization, one of the best organizations in the league. So I guess, okay. And everybody has an opinion on Jeff Hafley, even though he hasn't done anything really here in Miami yet. In the next segment, we're going to get to it. Plus, Vlad, we're going to be visited by 3 of the best drag racers from the NHRA drag racing community later in the show. 3 outstanding drag race drivers.
Yes, they are.
You don't want to miss that because I learned things that I never thought I'd learn about sports in general, hearing from them. So stay around for that. Let's quick get to the headlines so we can get to everything that's going on. Hurricanes basketball team, they're in New York to take on the Syracuse Orange today at 2 o'clock. Pregame starts at 1:30. Vlad, you're going to be a part of that.
Yes, I am. I can't wait. And we get to see Kaya and Anthony go against the Miami Hurricanes basketball team.
Ooh.
So that's going to be fun.
Is that Lala's baby?
That is Melo's baby and Lala's.
Okay. I knew it was Carmelo Anthony. I just didn't know who the mama was.
Well, it's Lala's. Yeah. Even though we did see Carmelo's daughter the other day, they did something with daughters and fathers on the NBA on NBC pregame show. But yes, we get to see Kyan Anthony and the Syracuse Orangemen take on Mr. Lucas and the Miami Hurricanes, who are on is it a 2-game
losing streak?
Yeah, that was a bad loss in Florida. That was another reason why you're talking about how bad this week has been. Then after the heartbreaking Indiana game, then they lose a heartbreaking game to Florida State. And it's just like, it felt, bro, you're right. Cousin, you're right. It felt like the longest weekend that went into the weekday.
It just kept going. It kept going. And this is the thing. Important game for Jay Lucas because when the going is good, everybody's good. Now to see him bounce off the mat, get up from the being struck down twice. You lose to Clemson on the road. Heck, you've only lost to ranked teams this year, and you were on the road. It's an ACC game. But to lose to Florida State at home on Jim Larinaga night, that one was tough. So now how is Jay Lucas and this team going to bounce back? This is a turning point in the season. They can either stay down or they can bounce back up and get a little bit of that good mojo going. And it's a tough place, man. You're up there in Syracuse. Is it still the Carrier Dome?
I believe so.
Nowadays,
everything's got a sponsor. So
changes names now all the time, which I love. I think it's cool. And heck, if you want to sponsor,
did they call it like Jim Boeheim Court or something like that?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? It's the JMA Wireless Dome. Okay. But yeah, like I said, everything has a sponsor.
Look, I will wear your shirt and hat if you want to give me millions of dollars. I have no problem with that. No problem. Hurricanes football team, they have a new offensive lineman in Jamal Merriweather. He is a transfer from Georgia. Of course, the whole Mensa situation from Duke, he's kind of in purgatory. He's in no man's land. He is allowed to go to the transfer portal, but he is not allowed to go to a school, which makes no sense. And Duke is going to try to sue him for breach of contract. This college stuff is getting nasty, man.
Hey, we just got somebody from Ohio State.
We got an Ohio State guy?
Yeah.
Ooh. That's the defensive lineman.
Right.
So Mario Cristobal was kind of preempted from going into the portal and doing some of
the, he only had 3 days.
The things he wanted because he was in the national championship game. Sue him, and now he's starting to try to make some moves and get some things going. And I'm guessing it'll come fast and furious if you're a Miami Hurricanes fan. The Dolphins have hired Bills special teams coach Chris Tabor and assistant GM Kyle Smith. Now, Kyle Smith, he had the same role as assistant GM with the Falcons organization. So starting to build their staff over there in the Miami Dolphins.
I'm about to say something I can't believe I'm about to say. I'm kind of digging Hafley.
Okay. We're going to get to the next segment because everyone has an opinion. I was out, of course,
I'm just letting you know. I kind of like his vibe. The interviews that he's done. He had a good interview with Eisen, had a great interview with Joe Rose here on 104.3 FM WQAM. I'm liking his personality. I like his vibe. Dan, he's a guy that I could go get a beer with.
I understand that. But
I like that.
Guess what?
But he's got to win games.
Yes. You know what I like about a coach? Wins. I don't care if you stutter through your press conferences and mumble and bumble, or if you're direct like Bill Belichick. I don't care. So I'm going to reserve the right to not judge Jeff Hafley. Let him do his thing. I will judge him by his performance as a coach and his record. That's what I'm going to worry about. But everybody has an opinion, and we're going to get to that in the next segment before we talk to the lovely, lovely ladies that'll be coming in that are drag racers. The Heat, they're in Utah tonight to take on the Jazz. That is a 9:30 tip right here on 104.3 FM WQAM. The Warriors are expected to reach out to Miami about a trade for Jonathan Kuminga.
Why do Warriors want to call the Heat for all the guys they want to get rid of? You got rid of Wiggy. You called Miami for the Jimmy Butler trade. Now you want to get Kuminga. Like, what is Miami going to give you back? What, Jaime Jaquez?
I don't know.
Pelle Larsson?
Jovic? Yeah. Jovic for Kuminga. I'll take that trade, especially this year. Woo. Man. In less than a month, February 21st, the Marlins begin spring training baseball against the Mets. Can you believe it? It's almost here. Can you believe it? Inter Miami.
Are you serious?
Inter Miami are back in action today. They have an exhibition game
friendly
against Alianza Lima in Peru, and they open the MLS season against LAFC February 21st, the same day the Marlins start spring training.
I can understand why MLS is opening early this year because of the World Cup.
Mm-hmm. They're going to have to take that international break.
And they also want to start aligning themselves to be playing games when the other big leagues are playing, like La Liga, Premier, and all of that. So I can understand that. But I didn't realize, damn, we're already 24 days into the year? And we're not that far from the Super Bowl.
That's February 8th.
All-Star break, NBA and NHL.
Mm-hmm.
Olympics is 2 weeks away.
Yes, it is, in Italy.
March Madness is around the corner.
I've been watching it.
Spring training is around the corner.
February 21st.
The scouting combine is around the corner. Late February, early March.
Man.
Yeah. It doesn't stop, baby. It doesn't stop.
No, it really doesn't. You want to keep going? The Panthers. They're at the Minnesota Wild tonight at 9:00. Panthers have actually starting to put together some wins and scoring some points. They need to because they are far down in the rankings for the seeding in the playoffs. Actually, they're on the outside looking in right now, but they're starting to get healthy. So good team in the Minnesota Wild.
They just need to get in, bro.
That's all they ever
They just need to get in. It's been 3 years of a long season.
It's taking its toll on this
season a
little bit.
Just get in and just win.
Yeah, absolutely. Gerard Pringle, he entered the transfer portal and he said, you know what? I'm not feeling this. So he came back to the Miami Hurricanes. So he will be a running back for the U next season until he changes his mind again. But for right now, he's back on campus, matriculating and getting ready for his sophomore year. You remember he had a key stretch in this season where he was the main rusher on this team. So happy to have him back. The more firepower, the better is the way I look at it. Australian Open continued today. Yannick Sinner eked by, barely. Taylor Fritz won, Jessica Pegula, Novak Djokovic, and Iga Swiatek, some of the advancers today.
I was watching last night while I was finally trying to get some rest. I ain't gonna hold you, bro. I went to bed early last night.
I'm not gonna hold you. I stayed up late last night.
Good for you. Somebody had to hold it down. Watching Sinner. Man, I've never seen somebody like that. Australian heat must be unbearable because Dan, he looked like a corpse. Like he looked like there was nothing he can do. He was cramping the whole nine. And then I guess in the tournament, there's a
heat rule.
There's a heat rule. If the heat index gets to 5, they got to shut that. They got to they got to close the roof. Bro, he had that 10-minute break. I don't know if he ate Popeye spinach or he came back looking like Hulk Hogan.
He admitted he got lucky.
Oh, yeah, no, the other guy was going to beat him. He was going to have to forfeit because he was not able to handle that Australian heat. And it's something that's something that goes on with him. He did it in another tournament where he had to withdraw because of heat exhaustion and cramps. So lucky for the two-time defending champ that the roof was closed. If not, he would have been upset. Naomi Osaka, she's withdrawn.
She had to withdraw
from a abdominal injury. And Pegula versus Keys.
Ooh.
You know what's funny about that? They do a podcast together.
Oh, good. That's going to make.
And they're doing a podcast today, right before the game. Before their matchup.
That's good listening.
I want to hear some trash talking between them.
Well, tomorrow our eyes are fixed on the NFL. It's 3:00 AFC Championship game between the Broncos and Jared Stidham and the New England Patriots. And at 6:30 NFC Championship game featuring the Seahawks and the Rams. We'll get to my horrible picks later in the show so you can fade me and make some money because I went 0 for 4 last week. If you tried to go 0 for 4, you couldn't do it. I did not try, and I still went 0 for 4 on my picks last week. So if you are part of the gambling community, get ready to fade me later in the show. But right now, let's fade into the day spa. You see this all the time, Vlad, but you hate when you see it online. A woman was filming herself doing yoga out in Austria. When she watched back the film, she saw some creepy guy taking pictures and videoing her in the background. Rough.
That's sad.
That's rough, man. Look with your eyes, man, not with your phone.
How did she look?
She was okay.
Okay.
She was okay. But he was creepy, man. But I mean, if you're standing in the background filming a girl doing yoga, then you probably are pretty creeper. There's no being like, well, no, I wasn't doing it. No, you know. Is there crying in football?
There's no crying in football.
There's no crying in football,
unless you win.
You
could cry if you win.
So maybe there is crying in football. Maybe that's okay. We're going to discuss that next here on 104.3 FM WQAM. There's no crying in football. Vlad, there's no crying in football. What are you doing?
Just crying, bro.
Tough sport. Got to be mean. Got to be nasty. No crying in football. Maybe there is, though. Miami Dolphins, earlier this week, they introduced their new head coach, Jeff Hafley, and he said the team's going to be tough. They're going to be accountable. I don't know what coach doesn't say they're going to be tough and accountable. He says they're going to be one for all for one. And then this has been a very interesting topic that I've been around town talking to people, and I've gotten a lot of different responses. When talking about the Miami Dolphins fan base and his family, Jeff Hafley, as you'll hear, got a little bit choked up.
I want to thank my family, and this is why I saved it for the end. Hope and Leah. Hope's laughing now, so that's good. Leah. I thank you guys, and I thank Gina. And I can tell you this about Gina. Gina's not into this, so she can walk around and tell people that she's married to the head coach of the Dolphins. She doesn't care. All she cares about is us, how I'm feeling, supporting me, and doing everything she can for those kids. I'm lucky today, too. I got my mom, my sister, brother here today. Flying here to be with me means everything, and I thank him for that. And for my real coach, my dad, my first coach, who toughened me up, was there for me. I appreciate family more than you guys have any idea. And like I told you guys, I'm gonna wear it on my sleeve at times. I'm gonna be passionate. I'm gonna tell you how I feel, and you're gonna get everything I have. And to the city, to the fans, this is a storied organization, one of the best in all sports, and you deserve a winner. You guys deserve a winner. And I am going to do everything in my power to bring you guys that. I am so proud to be here, and I cannot wait to get started. Thank you.
I am here to tell you, I like it. I like it a lot right there. There's a time to cry and there's a time not to cry. And that right there is a situation where I feel as though it's warranted to cry. When you're talking about your family and you're talking about how proud you are and how proud you are of a fan base and how you're going to wear your emotions on your sleeve, I like it. I have no problem with that. Other people have come to me and said, no, if he's trying to bring this tough mental attitude where, take no prisoners, there's no room for that. You got to be tough all the time. I don't know. Once again, it's all about wins and losses. I get that. But some people come to me like, I like Jeff Hafley because he's a tough guy. And I got other people that say, I like him because he was emotional. And he wore his heart on his sleeve. Like last night, Duffy's Implantation. Julie Guy, Tamara G from Light 1015 and their friend Christina.
Oh, they stopped by?
And yeah, Christina stopped by. Great sports takes all night. And Christina's sitting there. I like Jeff Hafley because he's a tough guy. He's changing the attitude. He's going to be mean, but at the same time, he's going to be like an authority figure, but still understand the players because he's coached in college. And Julie Guy says, I like it because he cried, because he was emotional.
Oh,
I thought it was great. I see both sides of it, but I have no problem with you being upset and crying. Well, I wouldn't even say upset, crying. It's okay. But I do understand the proximity of, one, you want to be this tough guy that's going to lead this team in a different direction, and the other crying on the microphone in front of everybody. For right now, though, I think it was okay because of the context that it was in. If you're just crying about being the coach of the Dolphins, okay, that's a little, come on, man. But if you're crying about your wife and your kids and the journey that you've been on, I'm cool with it. And I mean, people have different opinions. Other people are like, oh my goodness, here we go again. Another crier, another, feel-good story, being their friend, not their coach. But I think he's going to be tough. I think he's going to be good. And I'm going to reserve a lot of the, I don't know, what would I say, how I feel about Jeff Hafley for when the season starts. But I have no problem with him crying on the microphone, crying on the stage, shouting out his wife, shouting out his lady and his kids.
I mean, that's always the smart thing to do.
I always like, too, this is the other thing I get about Jeff Hadley. He was 22 and 26 in 4 years at Boston College. And then I turn around and I go, yeah, but 3 of the 4 years were winning seasons. It was just really one bad year in there that really brought down his record. So if he can do 3 out of 4 winning seasons with the Dolphins, I'm all for it. I'll take a losing season once in 4 years. If you get 3 winning seasons, usually means you're going to the playoffs.
Well, I mean, you could be 7-5, and that's a winning season in college football.
It was a little bit like that.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. So let's see.
But I mean, if you want to do numbers, we can do numbers both ways.
Listen, he's a new voice. He's different.
He's definitely different.
And he's just a different. His whole persona is different than the previous head coach, and you just gotta like the fact that you have a general manager and a head coach that seem to be, not only they have similar mindset, they have similar haircuts, and
they look alike. Yeah.
I mean, geez, you could tell that there was one barber that was going into Green Bay cutting everybody up. The general manager, the head coach, the DC, that guy was making money. But they could go to Supercuts. They look like they both went to Supercuts. Nonetheless, they are tied together. They are friends. So that's good. You don't have the situation before where you have a general manager that, he's like, I like to make decisions, but I just, take a step back. No, that's not happening with JES. Mr. Sully. Sully's going to be in the forefront. He's going to make the decisions, and he has the people around him. And if you're starting a new job, you want your people. So,
of course,
your head coach, your people. And that's what Hafley is. That's his guy.
And apparently Troy Aikman, who was quote unquote independently contracted, I don't know if he still has a job at the Dolphins or not. I have one of those feelings that he's going to be permanently independently contracted for the Dolphins. But nonetheless, he really liked John Eric Sullivan, and he really liked Jeff Hafley. We know by his comments on Monday Night Football, he did not really like Mike McDaniel. But is Troy Aikman with this hiring kind of empowering the two guys that have come over from Green Bay to kind of stand up to Stephen Ross, even though you are the boss? Look, sometimes you have to get out of your own way and let these guys cook. Or is this going to be another case where it's a he said, she said, he wanted this guy, he wanted this guy, he wanted this guy, we couldn't make a decision on this guy? We'll see. But for right now, I'm good with it. I'm good with crying on stage. I don't know why I say it's stage at the podium. I'm good with what they've done so far, which is absolutely nothing. But it hasn't been negative. They come from a good organization. And like I said, we went outside of the house. Now we have pretty much. Oh, by the way, he also basically didn't say it was without saying so many words. This is going to make a lot of Dolphins fans very happy. He basically said Tua's not going to be his quarterback. He says, I like a good mobile quarterback that can run and that can do, tush pushes and stuff like that. That is basically saying Tua ain't that guy. So now you're going to
wait, hold on. Everybody's expecting this guy to say, yeah, we're going to. No, he can't say that.
No.
That's wild. He's not going to be like, yeah, that's he's going to say what he needs to say. Both of them, both GM and head coach are going to say he is part of the roster. It's going to be a competition. We're just going to field the best players that we can. So he's basically saying we're going to do everything we can to try to trade him. Or, if we can't keep him and he doesn't work out, we'll release him and take the financial hit. Or he can come back and see if he's, rebuild himself, re-energize.
And it can happen.
Got to, rehab from the injuries and he, compete again.
An offseason might be all Tua needs. And I know Dolphins fans don't want to hear that, but maybe it's all Tua needs is an offseason. Get his body and mind right.
Dolphins fans can't be upset right now, bro, because they got what they want.
You
got three bodies in the street.
You got exactly what you want.
So, yeah, man.
Look, for the post game, I took calls for hours and hours and hours on it, and it was all blow it up, reset everything, new general manager, new coach, new quarterback. Well, you're 2 or 3 right now. And the third, it's looking like a possibility that you'll get all 3 out of there. In with the new. Of course, some people said they probably wanted a coach with a little more NFL head coaching experience. Well, like you said, Vlad, the job's not as attractive as we think it is because John Harbaugh didn't pick up the phone. Mike Tomlin.
Mike Tomlin's not coaching again.
Well, what I'm saying is
Harbaugh. Listen,
Stefanski. Nope.
If Harbaugh really wanted, he probably was like, ooh, maybe I shouldn't sign that contract on Saturday after the results of the Buffalo-Denver game.
Of course.
Right? You didn't even give Sean McDermott a call to see if he might have just want to come down to Miami and maybe get back at his former team. So you have to realize maybe it wasn't what we thought it would be.
You have this, I don't know, not a fantasy, but you always believe that your team has the best situation and that everybody wants to be there and this and this and this. And look, the top 3 candidates barely paid you any lip service. John Harbaugh, Mike Tomlin didn't pay anybody lip service. And then Kevin Stefanski did do an interview, but was really quick to go to the Atlanta Falcons. And Sean McDermott, too. Look, they were going to hire Jeff Hafley no matter what. That was their guy from the get-go. As soon as John Eric Sullivan walked in that door, that's his guy. Who's comfortable with, who he believes in, he'll ride or die with him. He has to ride or die with him now. See what happens. It's very interesting. I'm getting texts right now. Tua's a dead man walking. Look, I said Jeff Hafley said he likes a mobile quarterback that can really put his nose in there and get extra yards. But
the way they were trying to talk about Malik Willis without basically saying that they're in love with Malik Willis.
Well, they should be in love with Malik Willis because he played in Green Bay. They know him. Go out there. We're going to end up dumping so much money into the quarterback position. It's ridiculous. We really are. Oh, my goodness. Hopefully these guys can figure it out. And also, John Eric Sullivan is known for his eye for talent. So hopefully with the 11th pick, we don't get that guy from Tennessee. That's a cornerback that didn't play last year because he was injured.
I'm going to tell you what I loved about what I heard about Jay, what Jay has said. We're going to draft guys, develop them to try to re-sign them again. Not like the other regime where Mr. Greer was just, all right, we'll draft the player. He'll play great, and then we'll just let him go. But we'll sign other people, other teams, broke down jalopies.
I'll tell you this, change is here. That's what all Dolphins fans chirped about all season long. Change is here, whether it's a good change or a bad change. Once again, we'll have to wait till September to really know.
No, we don't, not really. March. That's when it all begins. The new season begins. Free agency.
Yeah. I need football field results.
I need to know what you're going to be. I need to know what you're going to be putting on the field so I can get an idea. We always do we all look at the paper to see what the roster is going to be. And then from the roster, from seeing who's on the roster, then we make our predictions and expectations. Now, do I expect the Dolphins to be competing for a playoff spot this year? No.
No one expected the New England Patriots to be in the AFC Championship game, possibly in the Super Bowl.
But they did expect them to be one of those surprising teams, and that happened. Now, the Dolphins will be playing the third place schedule next season. Who knows? Maybe, a couple of bounces go their way. Maybe he is the new Duval. Maybe he's Liam Cohen of 2026, Mr. Hafley. We shall see.
Of course, we shall see. Of course, we've got some big drag racing stuff happening in and around South Florida. Also, a little crossover going on with Unrivaled. We're going to talk to some NHRA drag race queens. And that does not come out right now.
Yeah, it sounds great.
Beautiful ladies.
How about just NHRA
It's so hard
queens?
to talk about drag racing and then talking about it's tough. So look, we're going to straighten it all out next. You're going to learn something next here on Sports Day 104.3 FM WQAM.
then the following year, I had to come back and race there. And I was like, gosh, damn it. Like, I don't want to be here. I was trying to find any excuse. It was raining out, pushing. I was like praying, like hopefully the race gets canceled. I ended up winning the race. So then that track ended up now becoming, my favorite track because it went from, the worst like in between, like when you're like walking around, like you don't get too close, so you can like walk up to the little marshy spots, and there's like some gators, just like popping their heads out. So we don't have that any other racetrack. So I think for sure that's definitely my favorite one.
Gainesville is cool for sure. There's a lot of history there, and like you said, where else do you see gators when you're walking in? It says please don't feed the gators, but people still do. It's definitely a cool track. So if anybody from around here want to come and see, that's probably the closest one to Miami. So definitely come up to Gainesville. When I've been there, it can be a track that has a lot of high and lows, absolutely. But it's the first race of the year, so the vibe is always really high. It's also a place where I feel like the last minute news can break, and we have our media day there, so it kind of kicks off the year with really high note on everything. For me, I will not be in a Top Fuel car there this year, so obviously that would have made it even better for me. But I might be in something else that would be very interesting. So we're hoping we will have some news out about that soon, and that might make Gainesville a little more memorable for me.
We're looking forward to it. One last question for me. For the 3.7 seconds or less that you're racing in the car, how many days, weeks, months of preparation go into that 3.7 seconds?
Oh, it's crazy. I mean, sometimes when we talk about it, the percentage of racing we've actually done, even me racing 24 years, I could probably count being in the actual drag strip full runs is like a couple hours maybe.
Yeah,
but the
maybe.
amount of time that goes into it, it's really 99% of hard works. And a lot of times we say that championships are built in the workshop because that is all about it. It's a preparation. It's what you do when you come to the racetrack. That's what when you show what you got. But it's months and months of hard work going in before. And just like Maddie said, right now when they're building up her team, it's a new start for her team. I know how much work goes into that, and so do you. When you do that and you start up a new team, some people think that that's something that happens in a month or two. No, that is a long time preparation. And a lot of the things that are being built is things that people don't even see. You see the car on track, but we have a spare car that also needs to be built that is up in a shop. And then a lot of these teams, they might have a lot of extra spare parts that don't just go on the track or on the road. They stay in the shop because we have so many back-to-back races. And like we said, it's like a traveling circus for 20 races a year. So you really got to be prepared. That's not something you wing in the middle of the season. So a lot of people send us messages and say, I hope off season is calm for you. No, off season, that is when it's the most work. That is when all the nitty-gritty things get done. And then during the season, that's actually sometimes a little easier because you're going with the flow. But this is where the hard grind is being done.
My last question for you ladies. This is 75th year?
Yes.
What are your goals and expectations for this year?
Well, this year, definitely because it's my first year running professional, we're going to run enough races to be eligible for Rookie of the Year. So that would be a massive, massive feat because there's going to be a really good a lot of really good rookie candidates. So to get that would be huge, but that's definitely something that, we're setting our sights on. And it's the 75th year, like you mentioned. So we now have Diamond Wallies for this year. And Diamond Wallies. So, I mean, and it's only for this year, to my knowledge. So, like, everybody's hunting for one of those. That's a special thing that you may never see again. So, obviously I'm a new driver. I've got a lot to learn. Definitely a long road ahead of me. But we feel we have the best crew chiefs. Great parts. So, we're definitely coming out swinging and hopefully looking for some trophies.
For 2026 for me, I transitioned at the beginning of last year into a part-time schedule because I lost some funding. And so this year we are adding a couple more races to our schedule. So I am pretty excited about that. But yeah, I think, until we can get a little more funding and be back out full time again, I think the plan is just to go and, be upsetting, make a lot of the full-time teams mad, piss them off a bit, come out there. But, also I think what's really exciting is all three of us have been a part of this new 6-episode series called Chasing Speed that's airing on Vice right now. Every Wednesday for the next
Started this past Wednesday.
Yes, this past Wednesday. And that has followed our journey, in 2025. And so now they will be showing it, going into this season. And, I think being able to show fans and, people that aren't familiar with drag racing, like what it is, but, also like who are the personalities that make up the sport. I think what makes drag racing so unique and so special is, there isn't really one face, that represents NHRA drag racing. We all have so many unique storylines, like Maddie and her sister, work on the dad's car together with their grandparents. My sister and I, we race, and our dad's out there, multi-generational as well. And, Ida coming from Europe, like there's so many different, personalities and storylines that I think so many people around can connect with. And I think even if you don't understand, what 12,000 horsepower feels like, because sometimes the TV can't translate that. I think being able to, tune in and watch the series and, maybe find some new heroes or some people to cheer on, I think would be really exciting for people.
Absolutely. Yeah. If you haven't seen that series yet, definitely tune in. It's going to be really cool. And like Maddie said, on track, we'll definitely be chasing those diamond wallies.
Yes.
My biggest goal is to race as many races as possible because I also have a part-time schedule. It's I still don't have enough funding to be able to be out there and chase championships, but that's the end goal. So for me, away from the track, my biggest goal is to secure 2027 and forward so that I can be out there and really try to win those championships because I didn't come here across the world to just compete. Like I'm here because we want to add something into the history books and do this for a long time. But it's also kind of a new situation for me, stepping into to doing some new things in the sport, which I think will be very interesting. So I'm also really focused on having fun and learning a lot.
Well, the NHRA season begins in March in Gainesville, 75th season, and we had Maddie Gordon, Jasmine Salinas, and Ida Zetterstrom join us here. Thank you, ladies, for coming. We appreciate it, and good luck this season. And I hope you guys win that special reward for that. What are you doing for this year? Because 75th year, that's a big year. That's a big year.
Absolutely.
Big year.
Ladies, thank you very much. Enjoy your time here in South Florida at the Unrivaled game, and good luck this year.
Thanks
for having us.
As we begin to wrap up the show, gotta have a wrap up of the week that we had. Or better yet, we shouldn't even think about the week that we had. That's why it was so long, Glad. It was nothing but L's for us here in South Florida.
Not really. It was
Monday, big L in the national championship game. Big L for the Panthers, although Bobby got into a fight.
That was good. That was great on Monday. Bobby got into it.
You got to be with your guys. The Heat took an L against the Golden State Warriors. That's all on Monday.
Oh, Monday was nasty work.
And then on Tuesday,
Canes lost
to
the Knolls
on Jim Larinaga night. Now they're going to try to rebound coming up in just a few minutes. Actually, we got to step aside for Joe Zagacki, Danny Rabinowitz, and the guys to get it going. Heat also lost to the Blazers the other day at the Moda Center in Portland. They did get a win against Sacramento.
Meh.
It was a long week. Long.
At least it ended right with the ladies yesterday from the NHRA.
That was nice. Yeah.
Thank you once again to Maddie Gordon, Jasmine Salinas, and Ida Zetterstrom for joining us and explaining what's going on in this 75th season of NHRA.
It blows my mind. For 3.7 seconds is how long they race for, but it takes them months to get to that point.
Let me ask you this.
Behind the scenes.
That's the high of highs,
That's
right?
dedication.
3.7, like you don't get, that's a high of highs.
You're on a jet.
What can you think anything outside of that can fulfill them with that type of elation?
I can only imagine.
It's crazy. Yes, it's crazy, but yeah, it was good to talk to them after this dismal week because all the local teams here pretty much took it out.
Rough week. And now it's reported that John Morant is going to be out past the trade deadline with an elbow sprain.
And Giannis Antetokounmpo is going to be out for 4 to 6 weeks for the calf injury, but guaranteed once they get traded, whatever injury they had, all of a sudden, antler sprain.
That's weird how a change of venue, your body heals quicker at a different location.
Oh my God, my calf that's strained. All of a sudden, it's
I just got to give a lot
reinforced.
Big ups to the training staff here and everything that they've been able to do. It's just been a around the clock effort to get me back to where I need to be to play. Okay, cool. But I'm just saying that because the Heat are always going to be in talks, and of course, apparently the Golden State Warriors are reaching out to the Heat about trading Jonathan Kuminga. I don't know if that moves the needle for anyone, but okay. But yeah, it was one of those weeks, but we're going to end it right, Vlad, because we've got a big Miami Hurricanes basketball game coming up at 2:00 against the Syracuse Orange. It is a 1:30 pregame, and it should be great. You're going to be working that game, correct?
See.
And then what are you doing with the rest of your day?
Nothing. I got to come back here for one more day. I've worked 12 consecutive days.
That's what we do on this show. That's the Creole way right there.
I've worked 12 consecutive days. Once I finish today, and then I do the Panther game tomorrow, I don't want to be seen, heard, or talked about for 24 hours.
That was my Cajun grandmother, her whole life. Up at 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, work in the fields and around the house all day, eat dinner, go to bed at 9 o'clock, do it again the next day.
At 9 o'clock. I mean, there's things to do today. I mean, there's the NBA's on ABC.
Mm-hmm.
We have 3
rivalry week.
Rivalry week. We have Knicks Sixers.
Can we be honest? The Lakers suck. I mean, they're good, but they should be better. They really should. You got LeBron James and Luka Doncic.
You know he's 41, right?
I understand that.
So, like,
still one of the best players in the game.
But he's 41.
Luka Doncic might be the best player in the game.
He doesn't play defense.
Still,
you have Knicks Philly, you have Golden State Minnesota, Steph versus Ant-Man, and then you have Lakers Dallas, along with Boston, Chicago, Cleveland, Orlando, and then of course the biggest rivalry, Heat versus Jazz. Really? That's a rivalry?
We were trying to figure that out earlier today.
What,
Tommy Tighe was talking with Mark Kestisher, and he's like, I don't know if that's a rivalry.
That's a rivalry? Like what? Because D-Wade is a part owner of the Jazz?
There you go.
Or Danny Ainge is the general manager of the...
Scheduling. What can I say?
I don't get it.
Ooh,
but
let's get to the fun part about me getting predictions wrong in the NFL.
Oh, for tomorrow?
Yeah, Sunday, 3 o'clock, you get New England, Denver. Of course, Denver, their quarterback is Jared Stidham because Bo Nix got hurt at the very end of the previous game against the Buffalo Bills. I think Stidham will do better than most people expect, but that New England defense, we watched them, Vlad, against the Texans over there at Lost Weekend in South Beach. That New England defense, I underestimated them. They are nasty.
Yeah, CJ Stroud just stinks.
He was bad.
Your boy looked bad out there last week.
He's had a rough couple of weeks, but nonetheless, I got New England winning against Denver, though, nonetheless, even though it's in Denver, the Mile High City.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not putting my money on Jarrett Stidham, even though I do believe Sean Payton will. If you know what, Denver's covering the point spread.
Oh yeah, everybody thinks Stidham's he's the third highest paid backup quarterback in the league, so he's got something. And Sean Payton, although he did get Zach Wilson for 1 year, didn't play him though. But okay. And then the big one, the Rams and the Seahawks. Oh my goodness, a lot of people all year long have been saying the Rams to the Super Bowl. I don't know. This Seattle team is tough, and they're at home in Seattle. I'm going to go with Seattle.
No, I'm going with the Rams, man. This is Matthew Stafford's legend
culmination year.
Yeah, legend statement year.
Okay.
He's going to win his second title, win his first MVP, be Super Bowl MVP, and then we're going to look at him very, very highly when we're talking about some of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play the game. And if you win 2 titles, you win an MVP and a Super Bowl MVP. Now I'm looking at you same way I'm looking at Peyton. You surpassed Rodgers to me because you got 2 of them things. So yeah, you don't have to sit in the kiddie table no more.
So I mean, if you win the MVP this year and you win the Super Bowl, it's your second Super Bowl. I mean, Aaron Rodgers won 1 Super Bowl, and he won a bunch of MVPs.
4 MVPs.
I'm trying to think what would be the more successful career.
Dan, you know about my thing.
Probably have to say Matthew Stafford if he wins it all this year.
You know I have championship dinner tables, right?
There's the kiddie table.
That's the 1 ring, and then there's the adult table. Tom Brady's the king of the adult table because he got 7 of them things, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he can't talk no trash to a couple people. Like he can't talk trash to Eli because he looks at Eli. Eli looks at him and he's like, Eli doesn't deserve to be in this table. And then Eli looks at him, I deserve to be in this table because I beat you twice, including a perfect season.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what Matthew Stafford is trying to do right now. He's trying to get into the table, sit alongside Troy, sit alongside Bradshaw, sit alongside Mannings, sit alongside Brady. He wants to leave that other table. That table with Drew, Aaron, Favre.
Nice table.
It's a nice table, but you're not going to be the king of that table because Favre and Joe Namath are like they're running things on that table. You want to be in the other table, man. Great conversation. You don't want to be there with Russell. Russell and Drew Brees be looking at everybody in that table and be like, I should be there. You want to be on the other table.
Mm-hmm.
The rings table.
Speaking of table, I'm actually running out to 26 Degree Brewing in Pompano Beach. We're having a pet adoption event there, and they're going to have doggy yoga. So I've never seen doggy yoga. I'll be emceeing, and that's why I'm wearing my Hawaiian shirt with my bunny on it if you're watching on YouTube and Twitch, because you're supposed to wear a Hawaiian shirt, and it's an animal event. So I figured, why not?
Oh, that's what's up, man.
So I'm going to keep an eye on the games and stuff. Hopefully the Miami game, of course, I'm going to keep an ear on it as I'm
and Panthers
driving
are playing tonight as well.
Panthers. It's all late night, great night stuff. 9:30 tip for the Heat and the Jazz. It's a 9:00 puck drop for the Florida Panthers versus the Minnesota Wild.
And then they got to spin around the block and play at 7 p.m. tomorrow in Chicago?
Yep, because they have to make up that game because of perspiration on the court.
No. I'm talking about the Heat. I'm talking about the Panthers.
Oh.
Panthers are playing tomorrow night in Chicago.
Oh, goodness. So both teams have a back-to-back.
Yeah. And then that's next weekend where the Heat got to play that game against Chicago. They're playing Chicago 3 games in 4 days.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome.
That's crazy.
Some people think it's stupid. I think it's hilarious and awesome.
Why?
I just think it's cool that they're going to play. They're going to be so intimately tied together for 4 days, basically.
I mean, what are they going to do? Get married and play in
Know your enemy. You know your enemy, man.
I mean,
by the 3rd game, they're going to be wanting to kill each other, man.
Well, I mean, why? They're going to see each other in Plainville.
Right. Well.
Yeah, the Kings of Plainville.
Right now, it seems that way, man, and the way they've been playing. But you never know. We'll see what happens if a trade or anything else. But a lot of people starting to be okay with Tyler Hero moving on. I'd love to see. Never mind. I don't want to get into that. That's not ruining my good vibes. So we got the football games, we got the basketball games, we got all types of late night, great night. You're gonna have to wait around for these games because, like I said, 9:30 tip, 9:00 puck drop. Of course, you can hear them all right here, 104.3 FM and 560 AM as you run around and do your thing. And then we'll just get ready to do some more fun. Tomorrow I have the day off. Vlad, you actually have to work tomorrow. You're doing the Panthers game.
I am doing the Panthers game, and that'll be it. And then.
Is that a 4:00 game?
No, it's a 7 p.m. game.
Ooh, nothing like waiting around.
Dude, I don't get it. Like, I'm like, man, they're playing at 9 tonight, and then they got to play at 7? Like,
they're turning them around, man.
That's a quick turnaround, bro.
So you're losing an hour behind in the central.
Well, I mean, you're not losing
you're starting at 8 and starting at 6. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Man,
Nastiness.
No, well, let's get our guys back. As soon as we get all back healthy, we're going to be good with the Panthers. The Heat, I'm trying to figure them out. I kind of have figured them out, but I'm kind of in denial of what they are and who they are and what's going on with them. But nonetheless, we got Jeff Hafley in the house. He's making noise here in South Florida. We're going to see what they do with the draft and who they pick up and how everything is going to go with them. And of course, Mario Cristobal. The saga continues as we wait to see how our quarterback will play out. I don't even know what to say about that.
You don't want to talk about the Mensa situation?
Darian Mensah. So he has been allowed by the courts to enter the transfer portal. He has just not been allowed to go to a school, although I've heard he's on campus in Coral Gables. He can enter the transfer portal, but can't play elsewhere because Duke has a pending lawsuit.
Okay.
His NIL has been blocked because he's got the NIL deal with Duke. So I think the loophole is he can enter the transfer portal, he can transfer, he just cannot accept NIL money from any other school than Duke. So he basically could come to Miami and play for free, which would be all about. They're going to get around
that. Where's Nevin at?
They're going to get around that. They're going to get around
Where's
that.
Nevin Shapiro at? We'll don't worry about it. All right, let's do that. You can do that. We'll pay him under the table.
In an era where it is now legal to pay above the table, Miami's going to find a way to illegally pay
I'm
under
just
the
saying,
table.
if you can't, you're blocking a guy's way of earning money because he decides he wants to.
He does have a contract.
So,
I mean, I don't understand why they don't just void the contract and he can just do whatever he wants.
They're willing to give. Here's the thing. If he doesn't want to be there and he's willing to give you back the money and Miami's willing to pay the money back,
I don't see what the problem
I don't see what
is.
the problem is. It's like, what?
Is it just that petty? They don't want well, I mean, he would be going to an in-conference team.
And?
I'm just saying, maybe that's why the reason they're being
Does Miami play Duke next season?
Maybe in the ACC championship game.
Oh, come on, man. Duke's not getting to no more ACC championship games. Get out of here.
They won that bad boy last year.
Yeah, on some technicality BS.
So it's an interesting situation. A good thing is Gerard Pringle will be returning to the U. He had entered the transfer portal. He's out. JoJo Trader has entered the transfer portal. So we're seeing some of the dominoes falling as the Miami Hurricanes are now in the off season. And what a beautiful long season it was for the Miami Hurricanes. So seems like
they are playing Duke.
Oh, see, Darian Mensah.
Yeah, they are.
I figure it's hard to tell a 19, 20-year-old, screw you, stick to your contract. It's not a great look for schools and NCAA, but I mean, look what they're doing in college basketball. They got guys who went and played in the G League that are now going back to play college basketball. Alabama.
Right, the Alabama kid, right?
That's ridiculous to me. You can't have your cake and eat it too. I call me old school. Call me a stick in the mud. Once you become a pro and you declare and you play, that's it. Sorry. Now that you can come back and make money, doesn't change anything. You made what do they say, Vlad? You make your bed, you lie in it. It's because you weren't good enough.
Do you have to lie in it?
Where else are you going to lay?
You can lay on the ground.
That's a dirty place to be.
Have you seen some beds?
Well, now the only reason I'd give them any bail is because it's a different college landscape now where you can make probably more money than going to the G League. I don't know why you'd even want to go to the G League if you can go to college. I understand being in the G League, yeah, because some guys, they're trying to make it to the pros, but just stay in college 4 or 5 years. Make that money.
RVA Richie says, get another Depends.
No, well. So Miami Hurricanes coming up against the Syracuse Orange. I'm looking for Jay Lucas and these guys to bounce back. This is a critical game in their season. It's not that you get knocked down. It's how you get back up. We're about to find out all about it. Danny Rabinowitz and Joe Zagacki going to be on the call. Vlad, you're going to be helping out. Thanks for hanging out today, Vlad, by the way.
No problem, Cousin. That's what we do. We're going to be doing this pretty much for the next 7 months.
Yes, tomorrow is the championship game. They're going to have the AFC championship game on instead of us, but we will be back next weekend and the weekend after.
Well, there's also a Panthers game and Heat game on tomorrow, so that's why we're not going to go air the NFC championship game. But after that, next weekend, I believe we're going to be on for 4 hours and 45 minutes.
I love every minute of it.
But yes, you're going to start hearing your favorites every Saturday and Sunday between noon to 4 or whatever time the Hurricanes are not playing an afternoon game.
And real quick, happy 39th birthday to Luis Suarez.
Really?
Yeah, we're going to get Daniel Solana back on as soon as, all the national championship and get to talk some Inter Miami. We still haven't celebrated them winning. We're going to wrap it up. Canes are next. Go Canes. For Makuze Vladimir Luso, I am Dan Day. This has been Sports Day on 104.3 FM, WQAM.
Later, fools.